Well, it said, can you expand more on community tokens being listed on exchanges? Okay, so what does that look like? Well, the first thing that most exchanges will ask for is number one, some form of entity that is liable for the listing, which means that companies that are projects that are going to list on most exchanges need to formally list and incorporate. That's something that, I'm sure myself and Dan can help in terms of just opening doors and making connections. Then basically what most will want is some type of external security audit in terms of the validity of the code itself. And they will also want some kind of legal opinion from a law firm that gives them some form of imaginary liability in terms of whether this is a security or not. Right. And I say imaginary liability because the reality is our space is very foggy and uncertain, and there's no fucking clarity with anything. So we'll see. Now, unfortunately, that puts real costs on community tokens. And so when someone is spinning up a new project, that needs to be a consideration, right? Where, developers kind of have to ask the question, okay, do I want to bring this to exchanges, or do I want this to live in decentralized ecosystems? And the reality is, once there's infrastructure like Rosen and bridging, you may be able to exist simply on chain and not, be exposed to centralized exchanges. And suddenly it's a little bit easier because you don't have the legal complexity and compliance complexity that exchanges are going to want. But if you do want to take the path where, let's say, a project wants to get listed on a major exchange, the reality is taking a project to market like that is going to have cost, right? It just is. Like an audit is not cheap. Legal opinions, I don't know if anybody here has dealt with lawyers, that's not always cheap. So they need to budget, and they need to have some mechanism to carry those costs, right? And oftentimes that needs to show up somewhere in their tokenomics, unless you just have someone that has deep pockets and can carry that personally, which many times is not the case. So in terms of like the initial planning for projects, that needs to be a consideration, because if I started, with the mentality, okay, I'm just going to exist kind of on dexes in the wild, and then I wanted to pivot to get on exchanges, there's a lot of work that needs to be done on the back end side to make that fly.
Yeah, and just to emphasize on what Joe said, you definitely need to have a legal entity. So it has to be a legitimate business. And it's not easy. It's not difficult, but it's not easy. It has to be done properly. Things get checked, articles of incorporation, basically validates things that validate your business get checked. The same with the Apple Developer Program. Actually, for that program, they will literally call you up and verify with you. So it's not all automated. There was when Zengate was verified by the Apple Developer Program. I literally had somebody from the Dublin Apple support office call me and verify that my company, in fact, did exist and that we did do what we say we do. So, yeah, company is very important. And again, it's as far as technology is concerned, if it is a native asset, theoretically it can be listed wherever Ergo is listed, because we essentially use the same wallet. Again, we haven't done that yet, so we don't know what it's going to look like. But with Cardano, that has been done with native assets. So theoretically, with Ergo, it should be the same kind of the same pathway. So again, if you guys really are legitimately interested to get your project going, without promising anything, please reach out to me or Joe, and we'll do all we can to facilitate the discussions for you and to get moving in the right direction.